What's up, everybody? We are here with Lehua Sedaria. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this interview. I really appreciate it. Looking forward to December 13th. We're right around the corner, so I cannot wait for this next Fusion Fight League event. They always deliver. Now, part of the reason why we do these interviews, for me in particular, is I'm one of the commentators alongside Justin, Guitar Hero Jaynes. But I like to get to know the story of the fighters and understand what got you into this crazy sport that we love so much as fans. So that's kind of my first question. What got you into mixed martial arts and combat sports?
Well, I started when I was 5. Basically, my whole family is in martial arts. Like, my dad was a boxer. My mom did Taekwondo with us. My two
Oh,
older
cool.
siblings went to the Junior Olympics for Taekwondo as well.
Wow.
I initially got enrolled to Taekwondo when I was 5 because I was a bad kid. I would run amok and my ADHD was everywhere. So my mom was like, "You need some discipline." Put me into
Yeah.
there. Um, and then when I got older, around 11, she put me into jiu-jitsu for self-defense, obviously, because I'm a smaller girl. So she was like, just, if you don't have to compete if you don't want to. And then my jiu-jitsu coach, my first jiu-jitsu coach, convinced me just to try one. And after that, I was just hooked onto it. And then we just started adding on sports and everything.
I see. So you had a background, just so I make sure I understood, you have a background in Taekwondo, then you got into jiu-jitsu, and that kind of became your main thing. Did you ever train other striking martial arts like Muay Thai or anything like that?
Yes, actually, I had my first fight in Muay Thai. So I
Ah,
consider my base Muay Thai. Um,
okay.
when I did Taekwondo, it was kind of just for life skills, getting myself into ready for life, pretty much. Um, I wasn't really too keen on competing or fighting, anything like that. It was when I started Muay Thai where I was really like, I actually want to do this. But yeah.
Now, I want to back up a little bit. You mentioned that you said by the way, I have ADD too, so I totally know what that's like to just your mind is bouncing around all over the place. But if you mentioned that you were like you said like you were a bad kid or something like that. Can you tell me a little bit more about what were you doing? Were you getting into fights, that type of thing?
Um, so I wasn't listening. I would listen to my
Ah,
mom.
got it.
I would be running around. One of the stories that my mom always tells me is that we were in the store, grocery store, and those little like racks where they hang the things and they hang clothes.
Sure.
I threw a fit because I couldn't go into the middle of it, and she was like, "Hey, you can't do that, whatever, whatever." So I threw a fit. I ran out of the store and
Huh.
sat in the middle of the road. And a car, like I think it was like a semi, it
Okay.
drove up, it pressed its brake, and everyone was crying, and I was just sitting there. I was like, no. So yeah,
Wait, how
I
old
was
were
in that.
you when you're 11 when you did that?
I think during that one, no, I was like, I think I was like around 4. I was young. I was a kid. Yeah.
strong, strong-willed, strong-minded, but hey, that probably pays dividends in the sport of mixed martial arts. So now you're coming in. Now
Yeah.
you said your first fight was Muay Thai, so you consider Muay Thai your base. But after all the training you've done now, it sounds like you've done a lot of jiu-jitsu training, a lot of Muay Thai striking training. Where's your sweet spot? Do you prefer striking? Do you prefer grappling, or you just consider yourself an all-around mixed martial artist?
Obviously, I consider myself an all-around martial artist. I can do stand-up, I can do wall, I can do ground, I can do wrestling, judo, anything that I would need to do. But I do feel most comfortable on my feet. So,
Got it. Totally. Growing up, when you were learning all these skills, but you also mentioned because you're a little bit on the smaller side, maybe like you learned that stuff for self-defense. Did people try to press you when you were growing up, and did you have to use your martial arts to defend yourself?
not really. I was homeschooled, so I didn't have that like bullying or that crazy pressure. I grew up in a Taekwondo studio, so we all had respect for each other. Um,
Mm,
but when it did come to like those homeschool groups, sometimes they would kind of get a little aggressive. Um, but I never had to really use my skills. But my mom always told me it's better to know it and not need it instead of
for
need it and
sure.
not know it. So,
Totally. My Muay Thai coach always says people can see it in your eyes. They can see it in your eyes, and then they know, hey, like let me back up. Let me not press. Yeah, so that makes a lot of sense. It's a very good thing too in martial arts that people have that respect, and you learn like, hey, this is something that I have, but it's a tool, and I'm gonna use it sparingly. There's a really interesting story from another fighter that's fought a couple times in Fusion, Leo Bercier, who actually he did get bullied growing up. Then he learned how to fight, and then he went back. He tracked down all the bullies, and he took care of all of them, and he fought them one by one. I just
Oh,
thought that was yeah, so that crazy story. I don't know. So I'm
that's
always
funny.
curious to see if there's somebody else has got a crazy story like that. But anyways, so what do you know about your opponent? What are you expecting coming into this fight?
Funny story. Chloe she sometimes she comes here and trains at Xtreme. So I've met her through training actually about like maybe a year or two ago. Um, from what I know about her, she's super sweet, super humble. Her fighting style, I mean, it matches her name. Super chaotic, super gritty. So I know when I step in there with her that it's going to be probably fight of the night. Um,
All
I'm
right.
expecting her to just come at me. Um, she's a very formidable opponent, and I'm super excited that she accepted this. So I'm ready to bring the heat with her.
Very nice. It sounds like you guys have a lot of respect for each other. Granted that you've trained together and know each other, so that's super cool. I love to see that actually. Now, by the way, you're at Xtreme. Do you train with Justin?
Yes, he's actually my main coach.
Okay, okay. What's Justin
Yeah.
like as a coach? He's my buddy for a long time.
To me, honestly, he's always been like a big brother. Um, I can go to him for training purposes. I can go to him for personal reasons. Um, he's out of all my coaches, he's seen me break down the most, and he knows how to control or help me handle my emotions because I do get really frustrated with myself. So when he sees that, he automatically like, hey, it's okay, calm down. Um, honestly, I'm just super blessed to have him in my corner and as here as a person.
Very cool. Now, I obviously love to commentate and actually meet all the fighters, and all this is really fun for me because I love combat sports so much, and I think the stories of the fighters, the what you have to do to develop the mentality to be able to even step in the cage is something that is fascinating to me. It's inspiring to me, so that's why I love the sport. I'm also a big fan. I don't know if Justin told you, but we do a podcast together about the UFC and mixed martial arts because we absolutely love the sport. So I'm always curious to know for fighters that are fighting in Fusion, who's your favorite current active UFC fighter? You can name a couple as well, but I'd love to know who your favorites are and why.
Favorite active UFC fighter? Obviously, I think this is a given. Valentina. Her
Mm.
recent fight was like hands down perfect. I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh no, that was kind of boring, or she said it was just blah, 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 blah. I think her game plan was amazing. Um, I honestly was on Wei Lee's side for a minute, but then when I saw what was happening, I was like, this truly Valentina. Like, I love her. And then I would say another one, he's a kind of an up and comer. It's Mansoor. I think he has a fight. Yeah, he has a fight soon. But I think he can take it all the way in his division.
Mm.
Um, also, I would say Brandon Moreno. Brandon
Hey.
Moreno is also one of my favorites, and Diego Lopez. I think Diego
Mm.
Lopez is kind of up there instead of Brandon Moreno, but both of them are amazing. Super. Diego has more of a wild side, and Brandon has more of a tactical side, and I like to see how both of those play out in fights.
What do you what do you see going down on January 31st when Diego Lopez is rematching Volkanovski?
Oof. I see a lot of clashing. Actually, I see a lot of clashing. The last fight, it was kind of Diego looked a little timid. Weirdly to say, he did look a little timid. So I think now that he has a feel of what can happen, what did happen, and all that kind of stuff, I think he can use that to elevate and do more of Diego Lopez fight and how he did last time.
All right. Well, I can't wait to see that fight. There's been a ton of UFC announcements. I am just curious about one other fighter because I know you mentioned Shevchenko. Do you know much about
Mhm.
Dakota Ditcheva?
I don't. It,
Okay.
it one
What's that?
tall girl and one
Yeah,
tall
tall
girl
girl, not in
in.
one, and she's in the PFL right now. But she's a very, very big, like I can't even call her prospect because she's been a PFL champ, but she's 27, and a lot of people think that she'd be a great matchup for Shevchenko. That's the only reason why I ask.
I do actually know who you're talking about. I want my body shot to be like hers. I've been training that. Um,
Yeah,
um, that would be a really good fight. I would see Valentina. I don't know how Valentina would handle Dakota's length
I
and
know.
her. I think their striking is very up to par with each other. So just seeing how the length and how that would play out, I think that would be a really good fight too.
It'd be so good.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna have to jump off in a couple minutes to go to my next interview. I want to close out with this. What are you passionate outside? What are you passionate about outside of fighting?
Outside of fighting, I'm actually in college right now. I'm in
Oh,
college for animal health and behavior. I'm working
oh,
towards
cool.
getting my bachelor's, and then after my bachelor's, I'll be getting into veterinarian school.
Oh, that's so cool. Well, I love animals. I got my dog right here next to me. I don't know if you're going to be working with dogs and cats or a broader scope of animals, but that's so cool. And very, very excited to see you fight. As you mentioned, you said it's going to be fight of the night against your colleague. It sounds like Chloe Becker. So we are looking forward to that. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this, and good luck. I look forward to meeting you in person on December 13th.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'll see you soon.
Absolutely. See you soon.